David, let's ask you. I wanted to ask you real quick. On that show, wrong, David. I want to talk to you.
You kidding me?
On that show, they make you be so serious, but then whenever you cross over, you get the funny lines.
I'm still trying to get over you thinking David. It's all good. Should I go with it? Yeah, I won't go with it. Just be thankful it wasn't Candace. Well, all right. Every time I get to go to Flash, I get to have so much fun. Right? John Diggle gets to be, John Diggle was kind of funny in the first season because I got all these one-liners, and every time Oliver says something, I would say, "Don't." No, Oliver. Stop, Oliver. Of course, Oliver would do the same thing. Mm-hmm. So there was some levity there, but I think actually when Felicity came, it really just kind of changed, kind of really lightened the show up. But every time I go to Flash, John Diggle gets to be light, and it's actually a lighter atmosphere over Flash. You're always teasing because there's bright light.
Yeah.
I think there's a gel on every light. There's like a brighter gel. Everyone's smiling. Everyone's happy. It's true. Candace is like, "Hey, Dave, what's up?" Our show is always like, and we're literally separated by a wall. So we just go on the. Look, by the way, they have cans of soda on their show. We don't. No, I'm serious, Andrew. This is the truth. Like, Steven,
what do you need soda
you can go. We don't get Coke or Mountain Dew or Pepsi. Flash does.
We can get.
This is the truth.
You know what?
This is the truth.
You know what? Once we start pulling a 0.9 or a 1, you got carbonated there.
And I thought I said the wrong thing.
I'm not the leader of the show, so it's not on my shoulders.
What an appropriate time to move to the lead of the show. Steven, I've never done 100 anything in my life. Give it up for Steven, ladies and gentlemen. I've never done 100 anything in my life shy of maybe masturbation. What is it like? What is it like to complete? What is it like to carry something that long? Try to take that image out of your head.
I didn't know how I would feel during the 100th episode, but there was a much bigger sense of accomplishment than I thought there would be. The first scene that I got to shoot on it was you and I walking out in the garden. It was this beautiful day, and our director had set it up as this big wonder. And I just remember thinking, "Wow, we actually did it." And I started to go over the members of the crew that were there on the pilot, because so many of them were there for the 100th episode. And I started to think about all of the crew and the cast that were there in the early days that are now in much more senior positions or bigger roles or leading roles, on different shows. And it really struck me. It was really easy to play the emotional moments of that episode because so many of them were true. That scene where I get to say goodbye to my parents, not a lot of prep went into that one. That just came really naturally. So I'm very, very proud in this day and age to make it to 100 episodes, and I feel like the path to 200 will be easier.
We're going to jump into Flash World real fast. Now, what's going on? I was so excited because I was like, "Yay, they're engaged!" And then I was like, "You son of a bitch!" And I don't know who. For a minute, I got mad at Grant, and I was like, "He don't make the decisions." Like,
I just learned the lines, man.
You guys have sent Barry on a real nut-busting journey this year, man. Like, making decision after decision. Take us into it, boys. Flash Brain Trust here.
Well, in terms of
to me, the musical is coming up next week, and to me, the best, and I don't mean this pejoratively, but it's like a gimmick episode, and to me, the person who did those kinds of episodes the best were Joss Whedon, and you think of Hush or The Body or Once More with Feeling. And what was so great about those episodes were they didn't stop the main ongoing narrative of the season to sort of step outside to go do something fun and then get back to things. I mean, those episodes really spoke to what the characters were going through. And so, we kind of set it up so that on both Supergirl and Flash, Barry and Kara would be at romantic crossroads. And so that when they go into the musical episode, they're sort of both in the same place, and they can go on this journey together to either get back the love that they think they've lost or not.
And it better be the former.
All right, there you go. Don't worry.
I could boil that answer down to you guys love torturing the viewers.
Admit it.
What's this,
Admit
you
it.
guys? You're a part of this too. We're not separated by a row here.
What is it like when you guys sit down and break a season? How did you pick this year it's Savitar? How did you guys arrive on Savitar?
It's hard because we've sort of, you sort of become a victim of your own success in some ways, and the Reverse Flash was so successful in season 1, and then it was we need something scarier than him, and we came up with Zoom, and it was oh, wow, he was scarier, and what could possibly be scarier than Zoom?
A slow villain.
Actually, it's
easily
funny.
caught by episode 2.
But it's true. We're actually next season we're not going to have a speedster as the big.
Is that
bad
right?
the
Next
first
season,
time.
no speedster?
Yeah. So we're.
Hey, the show's called Flash. It's about a boy who runs fast.
But we, with Savitar, we know who he is under there, and we've been planning this for a while, and we're really excited about it. And it always goes to, no matter which show it is, whether it's Arrow or Flash or Supergirl or Legends, the title of the show should be Flash Begins or Arrow Begins, because they're not who they are yet. And so
I better be getting close.
you're almost there. You're almost there.
Jesus.
So, the first couple of seasons of Flash were sort of about reveling in these powers, and this season for Barry is really about the pitfalls of having them. And, that was sort of the story we wanted to tell, and that's why Savitar, our version of Savitar, became the perfect villain to encompass that. And we're really excited for people to see, the last run of 7 episodes.
Oh, I know what happens.
Well, I know you know.
I learned early on. So let's talk to the fastest man alive himself, Grant. What is it like? I mean, speaking of, Barry has made some decisions this season where people are like, no! I've screamed at my TV more this year at Flash, not the election, than I ever imagined that I would. What is it like to, you are the Flash, you are Barry, you got to play the part as written, and then go out and face a world that's like, why are you doing that, man? And you're like, I didn't do it. I'm an actor.
Yeah, that's the thing is I agree most of the time with as a viewer, as a fan, with the backlash that Barry receives, and I think just this season we've seen he's always been an optimistic character. I think that's always been one of his stronger qualities, and I think this year we just see his fear dictate things more than ever, because how could it not with what's looming for the entire season? So I try to give him a break, but I do, I understand the backlash. I do.
Yeah, like changing Diggle's daughter to a.
I'm sorry about that.
But you know what? That's actually fair, because watching that show has removed my sex as well, because I spend all my time binging and doing nothing else.
Yeah.
So,
Cool, man.
think about it. I'm going to go down to Candace. Candace. The heart and soul of the show belongs to you. And of course, I, being a big West Allen shipper, I keep wanting to get closer and closer to that headline that we saw from season 1. This season, though, has taken us further and further away, gotten you engaged, and then just, if you haven't watched the recent episode, spoilers, and fuck you. And then we saw that engagement kind of dissolve, at least momentarily. Emotional roller coaster that you always have to kind of center the character as fast as he is. You have to be his gravity. What's it like playing that part? The part on the show of the one true superhero
Get it off your chest.
who
Yeah.
has no superpowers whatsoever. There you go.
That's very cool, and I don't take that lightly, you know, and that's one of the things I love so much about Iris West, and the question I get the most is, do you want her to have powers? And while I always say, yes, I'd love to strap some leather on for an episode, I love that she provides this human quality to this very superhuman show. It's something that our audience can all identify with. I mean, none of us are probably going to get struck by lightning tomorrow and end up being the fastest man alive. I mean, it could happen. But I always say, you know, this show reminds us, you know, if you did get struck by lightning tomorrow, are you Barry Allen or are you a villain? Who are you today? What kind of person are you? And so it's really fun for me to get to play this really human element on our show. I think she's extraordinarily important to Barry's superhero narrative.
But beyond that as well, like you've got such a strong part and you played so well that like the superhero narrative, yes, it's what makes a lot of us tune in to begin with.
Yeah.
But a lot of us have now just gone on the Iris West narrative journey as well. So that's for you.